Alright, everybody, it's your boy Fernie back doing a quick, very quick live. Well, actually, I don't know how long this will take, but I'm doing a live stream here for you, mainly because this will be a great way to showcase this my recent Tyler Paranormal Conference visit, or as it's known more locally as Tyler Paranormal Con, or Paracon, is how I see it mentioned as well. But I hope everyone is doing good. Hope y'all are enjoying this Sunday Bunday. I just was here last week on Saturday and Sunday. Well, actually, not really Sunday, because Sunday didn't nothing really happened, and instead just driving back. But Saturday was the big day. So I'm just gonna give it a minute here, let people come on board, and then we'll be able to chit chat. But it was an amazing, absolutely amazing trip. I've been going here for a couple of years now, and it still doesn't disappoint. Let me know too how the audio is coming through. Don't worry, guys, I'll change this here in a minute. And I plan on going every year forward. Hey, we got some people on board. What's up? What's up? Another new shout out. Hello, hello. Hey, hello. I think it's coming through fine. My audio and so on. And then I see that I'm live now, so that's good. All right, but yeah, without further ado, let's start this off. Those of you that'll join later on, thank you for watching. Those of you on right now, thank you as well. I'm at my house right now, my apartment actually, just chillaxing, and so I thought I would do this. A nice way of showcasing, I've done this before. It's a nice case of showcasing where I was, and specifically through Google Maps. So you'll know exactly where I was during this paranormal hunt. But yep, this is the Tyler Area Paranormal Conference. It just happened the last week. And as you can see, there was a whole bunch of guests there. Another shout out. Hello, hello. They had presentations, discussion groups, a psychic gallery. That's right. They had people there. If you wanted a one on one psychic reading, you could do that. They had my favorite, which involved these ghost hunts. And the first year ever, they had a movie screening, which was really great stuff. Chakra cleanings is also tied to the one on ones. They had some vendors that I saw there too. Regressions, past life stuff, they had it there as well. And then same thing with tarot readings, all one on one stuff. And these are all the people that'll be there, that were there, essentially. It's been changing throughout the years. It used to be at a place called the Warehouse, and then that was shifted to another place. I'm sorry, it used to be at a place that was a hotel. And I kind of like the hotel the best because it had the largest panel area and it was easy to get in and out. But then they changed it to the Warehouse, which was great because that was a haunted area. And then they changed it to another area, and then finally it's here at the annex area. You'll know more about that here in a minute. But this is what they had there. Stage one, they had all of these presentations. I was able to go in coming from Austin. It takes about 4.5 hours to get to Tyler, and I was able to come in around this lunchtime. The thing is, though, I was already so tired, I didn't have a chance really to hang out and see any of these panels. Also, because the place is really, really small. It's much smaller than any of the other areas they've been at. But I didn't have a chance. In the past, I have been to the panels. This year, I just didn't. I was just too tired, so I decided to take a break and go back to the hotel. But you saw that I did a live stream over at the other place at the hotel that I was at. But yeah, I wanted to join this one, the Haunted Hill House, because that's gonna be a place that we may go to sometime in the future on our ghost hunt. And then I wanted to go to this panel, Cryptids, Monsters, and Strange Creatures, but Again, I was just too tired at that point. Plus, I had other plans with the screening that was going to happen later on. They had two stages, so both of them happening at the same time, back to back. This one was an interesting one. Bleed Through, a true story of aliens, demons, and pure evil that I wanted to attend to, but I just didn't have a chance because of the timeline by the time I got there. And then the only other one that looked interesting was UFOs, media, and misinformation, which kind of ties into what I'm talking about, and then cryptids and folklore. So, but anyways, I didn't get a chance to do it there. And then these are the psychic galleries. This was my favorite, ghost hunts. This is why I go here every single year. I think I started back in like 2018, if I'm not mistaken. Then it was 2019. Then, of course, 2020. And then COVID happened. And then I think 2021 and 2020 were canceled. And then back to 2022 and 2023. So I've been there maybe 4 or 5 times total. This is my favorite though, the ghost hunts. They are amazing. Unlike Austin, which is so heavily against ghost hunts, even if it's a place here in Austin that is purported to have ghostly activity, nobody likes ghost hunting here. It's like Austinites just rather want you getting drunk or want you just listening to music and cool things. They don't want you to do anything involving ghost hunts. So going to Tyler is a much better place because they openly embrace ghost hunts at many places there. And you can see it starts at 10 and it goes to 3. I usually last till about maybe 1 or 2. In the past, I have been a little bit longer, but now I've learned that a lot of those places even then shut down just because of the timeline. By around maybe midnight or 1, people start leaving. And so a lot of those places that have the ghost hunt areas for these ghost hunts here will then just start closing up. This though was a treat. Alien Contact, the Pascagoula UFO Experience. This was a special screening that was held at a theater that I'll show here in a moment. And I loved it because I got to go here. It says 9:30, but it was actually at 9 o'clock. And it turns out I was the only one there. Well, at least temporarily. At the beginning, there was like an elderly couple there, but it was pretty cool. It was pretty neat. I'll mention that more here in a minute. And then these are the discussion groups. I didn't see this one. Like, I don't know where these were. And I didn't do any of these cleansings and so on. But it would have been interesting to go to one of these. I just don't like the new place too much that it's held at because it's too tight. It's too small of a place for a convention to be held at. And I like the other place that it had before at the hotel because it was much easier for the panels. So maybe next year if they held it in another place, I'll try it there. But yep, that's the area. So Tyler Paranormal Conference, that's the one that happened just this year. Now I went to 4 locations, one, two, three, four, for my ghost hunt, and I'll show them in order, back to back to back to back. And I love going to these because they have the absolute best evidence I have captured yet throughout Texas. Now there's some places that I've been to, the group Spectre that I'm in, that that some of the evidence is just phenomenal. Like the best evidence of all time is over there at Fort Concha when the little girl opened the door in my live stream. Like she opened up the closet door on command. Like you can't beat that. But here is more consistent. So the first place that I went to was this one, the Select Theater. This is actually a pretty neat piece of trivia. This is the longest running theater in Texas. It says it's a playhouse also. You have plays that happen there, but it is an actual theater as well. It shows movies. In fact, at the time, later on that day, they were going to have the new Super Mario Brothers playing there. These are just some pictures from Google Maps or Google that showcase to give you an idea of what it looks like on the inside. This is where the theater is. You can tell these are like old seats, right? This is just really old. I think this is almost like 100 years old with this theater. And the story goes it's haunted because a lot of the actors that are there that played in the past love the theater and continue to stay there ever since then. So as you can see here, like there is the theater from the very front. This would be the screen area, and I was sitting right here front row, and I think the elderly couple that I saw they were somewhere over here originally, and then they left sometime during the screening. But that was the screening that I went to. It was the Pascagoula Alien Encounter. It was really neat. I don't know what this is, but the theaters here is so old. It's haunted. It's haunted by multiple ghosts of past actors, and it's haunted apparently by a little girl. I think she ended up dying somewhere there. I guess it was during a period where it used to be. See, this is a picture of the theater itself, like the actual screen that's there. Like she ended up dying something in the past, and the story goes that she's still around. But yeah, I got to see that Pascagoula UFO experience. It was really neat stuff. I was by myself, it turns out, and I was there enjoying this great theater. This is the area there where it's the concession. This is where you buy the actual food that's there, and you can buy your tickets on the outside as well. This is going more towards the back of the theater area. Wow, this is a big one. It looks like this is where they have um, a long line whenever people are buying tickets for a movie that's just coming out. So this is the actual location. In fact, let me show it on Google Maps. Let me go over here and bring it up. There it is. So this is where I was at just last week. If you wanted to know where the event was, it was right here, if I'm not mistaken, like right here, the annex. And you can imagine like an entire Comic Con or Paranormal Con inside this tiny building. So that's where it was. That's where the panels were. There might have been another panel here. I'm not 100% sure, but I decided no, I'm just gonna go rest a little bit early. But across the street, that's where the Select Theater was, and that's where it's haunted. And so that was really a really neat experience. I got to see that documentary for the first time, and it was neat too because it was about a subject matter that I taught years in the past, and then I got to see it there. On Friday, the day before, they held another panel for it, another screening for it, but they had the guy that directed it, who was also one of the witnesses of the UFO experience. He was there doing a Q&A afterward. It's a shame that it wasn't on Saturday because that would have been really neat for me to see it there along with the Q&A, but unfortunately no, that he didn't have it there. But otherwise, that gives you an idea of the theater. This is the concession stand right here, and when it opens, it's a lady or a dude there that's selling tickets. So it was pretty cool. I liked it. I liked the theater. We've done there have been some hauntings there before as well, like in terms of past ghost tours. But this was the first time that I got to experience a screening inside this area. So I was there for an hour and a half, as it turns out, by myself in a haunted theater. And what a better way to enjoy two things at once: ghost hunt and a good movie. So that was really cool. And then those of you that were on my live stream last week, here's where I was doing that live stream. Turns out there's a little park area here that you can park, and that's where I was. And then I was right over here. I was in this spot. Um, I think this is a little memorial slash park. In fact, let me show you exactly where I was. This is how tiny this place is. This used to be like a town I grew up in back before everyone moved to Central Texas. This is how it was. This is how much has changed, for in my opinion, for the worse. Everyone always says prosperity is good. No, try living it. Whenever you have 200 people moving into your area every single day, and you have, after the past 20 years, hundreds of thousands of people that have now moved in, it changes everything, unfortunately. But this is where I was back in the 90s. This is how it was in that area I grew up in. There's my little bench. You might see it right here. That's where I was sitting doing the live stream right here. And it's so serene out here. Like these people in Tyler or Mineola, Texas have no idea how lucky they have it. No, like everyone that's moving to Texas has missed this town, and they are so lucky for it. Otherwise, they would be experiencing all the traffic, the high rents, the nonstop people everywhere. And so I did a little tour around the town, showcasing on my live stream this spot here, just walking about. It was fun. I got to show that. So, first place that I went to, the Select Theater for my ghost hunt. Great stuff. Got to enjoy it. I got to see a good movie, and I got to spend an hour and a half in a haunted place. I didn't experience anything, um, nothing like in terms of an actual haunting or ghostly experience. Closest was maybe I got a shiver, like you know how that you get the shakes all of a sudden, and that's the closest that I had. But otherwise, it was neat. Plus, they were going to show the Ninja Turtles movie, the 1990 one, the classic one, the next day, or I'm sorry, the next week. So, damn it, I missed it by a week. Otherwise, I would have gladly been there. Now, the next place that I went to is here. This is called the Cedars Memorial Gardens. It's also known as the Mineola Memorial Cemetery. This is a place that I went to last time as well, for the first time. So this is my second time there. And wow, this was an amazing, absolutely amazing place for evidence. So it's a little bit tricky though. In fact, let me show y'all here. Let me do it regular map. If Google Maps and the rest will tell you to go to a certain address like 1830 South Pacific, but it is nowhere here. It will not take you there. You have to go a little bit past it and then you'll go right over here. There it is. So as you can see, this is the actual entrance, but the entrance, you'll blink and miss it. If you're driving by and the speed limit here is like 70 miles an hour, you won't see it. Instead, it'll just be something where it's, especially at night, there's hardly any lights out here. You'll just blink and you'll miss it, and then it's gone. So I missed it several times, and even the second time I missed it again. And I finally just had to go keep going back and forth, and then I remembered, wait a minute, there's like a tiny, funny little entrance, and then that's where it was. I remember there was like a little gate, if you could call it. So once you're there, it looks very hidden. Like the cemetery is towards the back. It doesn't have the cemetery at the forefront. At night, this is all pitch black. You won't see squat back here. There's no lights back here. There's no hanging lights. There's no lights on the road. Nothing. So if you're driving towards this area, from here to here, all you're going to see is pitch blackness. So that's another way that I missed it multiple times. But the story goes the reason why this area is haunted is because there are some restless ghosts that are there. And in fact, I'll show where I was specifically here in just a moment. But this is the second year that I've been here, and I had a blast. I had some great fun, good experiences. In fact, let me show some pictures of the place. These are again from Google. So this is the inside of the cemetery itself. It's been said that the further you go into the back, you'll see that the area there is surrounded by forest. That's where you start seeing more of the activity. That's where the shadow people are, apparently. By the way, it's so serene out here. It's so hidden. It's so tucked in. It's surrounded by all these beautiful forests. And you know how when you're surrounded by a forest, it has that nice smell, like it's a nice fresh smell. It's just nature. It smells like it's out there. It's so quiet. Again, it's pitch black. There's no lights. You just pretty much have the moonlight hitting you. That's what it looked like out here. I wish I could take a proper picture at night, but it's too big. It's too dark to be able to capture everything. They have these little roads too that you travel about, just like any other cemetery would. And there you'll be able to see more of the places. Who knew that there's these many people buried in Mineola, Texas? I think my apartment complex has more people than Mineola, Texas has, but over the years, I guess people have died out here, and this is the main burial place. And as you can see, this is the entrance. This is there now. It looks like the other map just didn't have it yet, but it's there now. And then it showcases the entrance leading into the specific spot. Um, Let me go over here. This is the entrance again. I'm hoping that if they have a spot to showcase where I was. No, this isn't it. No, this isn't it either. Um, oh, that's why it used to be called the Mineola City Cemetery. Okay, gotcha. Now it's called the Cedars Memorial. If you wanted though to get to the main spooky area, if you're driving in, keep going in, keep going in, keep going in, but then take a left. Go in this spot, and I'll show where that is here. Looks like they don't have it. Okay, so let's go to the maps and the terrain. So when you're driving in, just like I was, keep going over here, keep going over here. Eventually, I did like a loop at first, and then I met some of the nice tour guides there for the night, and they said the spot that you want to go to is over here. This is the spot. And when I asked them why, they said this is because this area here, I'm sorry guys, but Google Maps is about as good as it gets over here. This is the area that has a lot of unmarked graves. They're tied to African Americans that died in the late 1800s, early 1900s or so. They died, but they have unmarked graves, and that has made them restless. The idea is that they cannot they don't like the idea that nobody knows who they are. Nobody has marked who they are. I guess none of their family has come in afterward. So that's why they still haunt this area here. So I went here first, and I didn't really encounter much in this spot. And instead, I walked and walked and walked, and then I went to this corner here. I think it was this corner specifically, but it was definitely a space where those forests that I was mentioning earlier came to a head, and then there was nothing beyond it. This is the spot where I experienced something cool. Second time ever in my life that it's happened. I was walking there, and I hadn't felt anything bad. Like there was no negative energy. There was nothing telling me to get out, something like that. And then all of a sudden, when I was here, that's when I got that sensation of, hey, you're being watched, and you need to get out. You know, it's that funny feeling that comes over you that tells you that somebody doesn't want you there. And so whenever I got closer to this spot here, it got too much, and I decided to just say, I'm out of here. And so I left, and I started to walk away. And only the second time ever did I hear a footstep, like an actual footstep behind me. Keep in mind, I'm by myself in this spot. The other people that were there were somewhere over here, and they were completely like far away. I think there must have been at most like five people here at the time. I was 100% by myself, and I was over here in this spot. So, something I heard a footstep. The only other time that's ever happened is over at the Huntsville. No, no, what's it called? Is it Huntsville? It's at the spot where Sam Houston is buried. That's where the statue of the Black Jesus statue is as well. And that's the only time I've heard footsteps behind me. And I heard it here too. And so I knew that something was there. And so I realized, let me get out of here. Again, this is the same area if you go towards the back where the shadow people are. And that's where I experienced something. So that was pretty neat. And so I decided to get back in my car, say goodbye to everyone there, and then just drove off. So that was pretty fun. Great place. Second time I've encountered paranormal evidence, two for two. And it's still a good place to just, it's so serene, like I mentioned earlier, to just be there and be calm. You're wondering, like, how weird is that in a cemetery? But if you go by yourself and you're just there, like, you literally, you're almost like back in time, like before everyone moved to a certain spot. You're just 100% by yourself. It was very serene, the sensation that was out there. So the next place that I went to was the first time I've been to this place. It is called the Wisner Airport Museum, which is this one here. This was an unexpected bonus, an unexpected surprise. I had no idea this place even existed. This is another area where you had to go from the main road into some neighborhoods, go beyond the neighborhood into another spot, and then finally you're able to get here. This is truly tucked away corner areas. Like, you have no idea when I mention like how far this is away from everyone else. It is so rural. Like, that's the word I'm looking for. Like, it is a spot where just a few people live. Maybe there's a tiny neighborhood of homes here, but I didn't see much anything else going forward. You'd have to keep going way over here in order to get back to the main road. But this is where I was. This is the Wisner Airport Museum. And so the tour went in here. It's too bad it doesn't go in. Otherwise, I would show y'all. But it went in here. You drove down here, took the little bit of a left here, and then when you go over here, let's see if it'll show it. Kind of, sort of. Then that's where you parked right here at this spot. And then that's where it would take you specifically to this spot, which is where you have the actual museum. Pretty cool stuff. I loved it. It was an unexpected bonus because I didn't know what was going to happen there, but I got to see some really cool stuff, some pretty good evidence. Let me bring it up here real quick. Sorry, guys, one moment. Um, if you parked right here, then that's where you were able to go inside this museum, and then that's where there was already like a an investigation happening because by that time that I got there, it was probably closer to midnight or so, and so there was already an investigation happening, and so I just waited a little bit, and then I was there with two other people. So, and guess what? This place does have an airport. Mineola, Texas, smaller than my apartment complex, but they have this airport. And then right here is pretty neat. This is the spot where I guess you could buy tickets for your airplane. I have no idea what airplane comes in. Like, I don't know if it's a commercial one or if it's a private one. Most likely it's one of those small two-seaters or something. But you can buy tickets, and then whenever you're here, you just sit here and wait, and then it picks you up. So who knows how that works? What I'm guessing people do is just my guess. They use this to ferry over to, like, I don't know, Houston or something. Like take a plane trip to Houston and then go from Houston International Airport to wherever their other destination is. That's just my guess. No chance that this is going to like Las Vegas or something. So once inside, let me show y'all what it looks like. Those are the benches that I was mentioning earlier. You could sit right there. That's where you buy the ticket on the inside here. And then you sit here or you sit outside. Oh, look at that. Those are the planes that are there. So I was right. Those are little two-seaters. And then once you're inside, this is where the main spot is for the museum. This is amazing. This is the haunted airplane right here. This belonged to a guy, Robert something. I can't remember his full last name, but he apparently his ghost stays with this plane. It's still there to this day, like this plane. This is from the time of the Wright brothers. In fact, the tour guide was mentioning that this picture shows the Wright brothers right there, and it shows that pilot there as well. And so he was with them, and once he died, his spirit or his soul or something stays with this plane. And because it's in this warehouse, then it stays in this warehouse. And we had some good communication with that ghost. In fact, at a certain point, the tour guide mentioned the ghost's name, and there is a REM pod right here. If you don't know what a REM pod is, it's one of the best pieces of evidence when it comes to ghosts because it is so specific. It just doesn't go off on its own. It has to have something triggering it right next to it in order for it to happen. So you could be 5 feet away with a phone and it won't pick it up. But if you're right next to it and you're touching it, then it sets it off. And so the ghost would literally have to go right to that spot, whoever that ghost was, of that Robert fellow, and then set it off. And they did it intelligently right at the time that we mentioned their name. There's a better picture of the plane right there, or another plane right there. This is the outside. I'm guessing that they have, it looks like festivals or they have events here. This is the inside of the warehouse, and I wanted to investigate it more to see if I could get any ghostly activity here, but I didn't have much chance. But otherwise, this is the quote unquote museum part. This is what's inside. So if you wanted to come out here to Mineola, Texas, and see a little like speck of spot in Texas that is completely blink and miss, you would never know it existed, but it has some good history, some good photographs, and then as you can see here, artifacts and so on, planes too. You can spend here a good while, like maybe an hour or so, and then go inside and discover those planes. I would say it's worth it. I would definitely go. Oh, look at that, a better picture of the inside. So again, this is where you purchase those tickets and you can wait outside and so on. Oh, look at that, they got little signs. So yeah, sure enough, Houston. I was mentioning that earlier. So conveniently, this could be a way for you to, instead of trying to drive somewhere, have somebody take you by plane and then drop you off and then come back and so on. So pretty neat stuff. So I had a blast. I had some good fun here. I probably stayed about maybe just 30 minutes at most, but I was able to at least have direct contact with a ghost there when it came to that ghost, that Robert fellow. Oh yeah, here's some more. Yeah, that was his name, Robert Weisner. So that was him. That was the actual ghost, the one that we were speaking to at the time. Oh, look at that! It's open on the outside. I had no idea that it could open that way. Yeah, sure enough, it looks like they're having some events here too. But when you go here, it's a great location to be able to enjoy. Um, Let me go back to the street view. Oh, they don't have it. To enjoy a nice little spot of Americana. Um, oh, never mind. I guess I lost it. Anyways, but yeah, that's the spot right there. Great stuff. And then the last place that I went to was this, a beloved favorite of mine. I've been here the first year I was in Tyler, Texas, and it remains the most spookiest place I've ever been to. You've seen my live streams there. You've seen me try to stay as long as I can, but no way, no how. It causes me to run out every single time. It's called Camp Ford, an absolutely beautiful place to visit for ghostly encounters and see the infamous red eyes. Those are the eyes that I saw last time that I've been trying to catch ever since again. So Camp Ford is located in Tyler, Texas. It's on these main highways here. In fact, let me show the terrain. It was one of the oldest prisoners of war camps in Texas. One of the largest ones too, apparently. Like it was one of the largest ones south of the Mississippi or west of the Mississippi. And the idea goes that whenever it were there, um, at the time there was hundreds of deaths. Even though it had the smallest amount of deaths in one of the, from one of, considering its size, the deaths still occurred, and those ghosts still haunt this area right here, especially if you're going towards this spot. Like it's more towards the back area where the apparitions are the worst. But otherwise, let me see if I can go here on the maps. There it is. So you can drive down here if you want and then park. I usually park right over here. In fact, let me show what it looks like up close. Oh, this 18 wheeler is right in the way. Right here. So this is the quote unquote main entrance. And when you're there, you can park right here on this curve, and then you're here. You're right there at the front of Camp Ford. The idea is if you want your first ghostly experience, park here, turn off your car, and then wait. What's going to happen is you're going to have footsteps that'll come about. They'll start walking around your car. It's almost like the ghosts are inspecting yourself and they're inspecting your vehicle and so on. We had that happen about maybe 3 years ago. When was it? Yeah, maybe 3 years ago when I was here. I bought a ticket for a tour, and it turns out I was the only one there. And so the tour guide, it was a young daughter and her mother. They were very nice people. They still took me out, even though I was the only one. And we spent a couple of hours doing investigations. It was really, really fun stuff. And we tried that here. This is where I met them actually, and then they told me right before I came into this spot to park, they said that no, that I had missed out. They had experienced something when I was walking about their vehicles, and it was telling like it was inspecting them, and it was causing noise and so on. So I didn't experience that myself, but you can try it out if you want. Oh no, is this 18 wheeler basically going to be blocking everything? It's not too bad. There we go. And so once you're there, then you can go inside and then walk about. And if you want to truly see where the hauntings are, you have to start from here and then go backwards. This is where I was last time that I was here, where I saw the red eyes. I was like standing, I would say, where's that? There's that marker that shows the display. I was probably standing around here, and then that's when we saw a pair of red eyes. So the notion goes that all those people that died from this prisoner of war camp, and ended up being over 300. Some of them died pretty gruesomely. It was either due to famine or it's due to disease. Some of them got killed. Some of them got murdered or executed. And so when that happened, their ghosts still roam about this place. And there's an energy that came about, especially because of this. In fact, let me see if this will show. Whoa, 500 photos. We might have some good spots here. So something came about, and then it started feeding off that negative energy, and whatever it was, it stayed there, and that's why it's severely haunted. I've been here again multiple times, and I have encountered multiple hauntings. I've had that so freaky sensation to the max, like dial to 11, involving dealing with something telling me to like, and all my senses telling me to get out. Like when it's that bad, like all of a sudden everything, all your hairs, everything goes up and it's telling you to leave. That's the sensations that I've had here on multiple occasions. These are the camps, by the way, that used to be here. They're gone now. The past two snowstorms completely destroyed them. The snow was so heavy, it just completely just obliterated these. So they're not there no more. I have no idea if they're being going to be constructed, but there was the reason why there was so much famine and there was so much disease is because inside these tiny camps there was over a dozen people. Like that's prisoners. That's where they would stay. As you can see, this is a perfect example. This used to be a walking bridge. This was completely destroyed because of the snowstorm. Can you imagine that? Like, snow is that heavy. Otherwise, if you go back here, that's where the really bad area is. Because, again, the idea is whatever it is that came in that was feeding off this energy, it especially fed off the energy, the negative energy of the African Americans who died the most horrible deaths out here. They were picked on. It was racism. It was them that got the worst conditions, and so they ended up dying. Larger number of them, and they ended up dying more gruesome deaths. And so their energy, their whatever it was that came about that fed off that hatred is back here. And you do not want to be back here at night. It's pretty bad. Like when it comes to whatever it is that's there that wants you to heck out. Oh, this is new. I don't remember seeing that. This is what it was like on the inside of one of those cabins. The reason why this camp was placed here was because a stream of water is still here to this very day. This water is the one that fed and nurtured basically those people that were there. So they got a steady stream of water, the prisoners and the people that were manning it. And let me see if it shows the haunted uh, gateway. No, I'm trying to see. Okay, kind of, sort of. So if you go here at this spot right here, that's where there is a ghost of a soldier that likes to walk around at night. And I've tried to see him multiple times. Apparently, he just pops up and just is doing his job, his nightly duties ever since then. And I have yet to see him, but I thought I have felt him before, just walking about. Let's see here. This is a better picture of that actual bridge. I've gotten those sensations here of something is so watching me right here at this spot, walking about this area right here. You've seen it on my live streams too. Let me tell y'all guys, if you think that it's like being a big scaredy cat whenever you see me just go out of here real quickly, I dare you all to try it yourselves. Come out here at night at 1 in the morning, 2 in the morning, and then just be by yourself in this pitch black darkness while you have this negative energy there. I dare y'all to do it. Let me see if anyone can last longer than even 5 minutes out here, because it is such an otherworldly sensation to be out here by yourself and to realize that something is just staring dead right at you. And you can't see it, nothing. And I've gotten the sensation right here, and I've gotten it towards the front in this area, and then towards the back as well. In fact, let me see if somebody took a spot of the hanging tree. In fact, let me do it this way. This will be quicker. This is a good picture, by the way, that showcases. Oh, somebody took a movie. Oh, neat. I didn't realize that you could do that. That you could upload movies into there. Damn it. Now I'm trying to see if somebody can post a pic of the hanging tree. Is this? No, that's not it. The hanging tree is in a space, place of especially dark energy. That's where a lot of the prisoners were hung. It is one of the larger trees there too. It's towards the back and it stands out prominently. There's like one branch there that's a really thick branch. And the story goes, oh wait, it's disconnected. All right, guys, sorry about that. I think it that my OBS system disconnected and so on. Let me know if I'm back on. But the story goes that with a pair of red eyes, whatever that thing is there that I was mentioning earlier that feeds off the energy, it it tolerates you. The notion is it doesn't really want you there, but it's okay. But at the same time, whenever you see it pop up, that's your final warning. That's where it's telling you that you need to get out. And so that's where we saw those red eyes. And that's your final warning before whatever happens next goes to another level. I have no idea what that was because I've never really tested it. When we saw those pair of red eyes, myself and the tour guide, I actually wanted to walk up to them to see what could happen. And it was neat too because you don't see those eyes from like staring straight at them. You see them from turning to your left or turning to your right. That's when they pop up. And so whenever that happened, I started to walk towards them. And then that's when the tour guide grabbed me and she said, "No, no, no, don't do that. Don't do that." In fact, this is a good picture right here. This is from the front. And so this will be towards this spot that I started to see those red eyes. Damn it. It doesn't look like nobody has any pictures of the hanging tree. So otherwise I would show you. But let me show you at least on Google Maps under the terrain where it would be. So the pair of red eyes that I saw were somewhere over here. I was standing here around this spot, and then I saw these red eyes here, and those red eyes were hovering. Nothing was attached to them. They were squatting. Like if it was a human, it would have been somebody that was squatting on their knees. That they were at that level, and they were just staring back at us. It was so creepy. Like I will take that experience to my grave. That's how amazing it was to see a phenomenon like that, to see some red eyes in the middle of thin air looking straight at you. I want to see them again. Like that's why I've been trying to come back every year that I can, and trying to see if those eyes can pop out. But I haven't seen them again yet. But wow, they were not attached to an animal. They were not attached to anything else. They were just there, and they would have been around this spot. And then the really bad area that you want to get to, involving the dark energy, it's a little bit past this point, but it's somewhere over here. This is where my understanding is the African Americans were around this spot, and that's where a lot of them experienced far more deaths than anybody else. And so, because of it, whatever that dark energy is, the bad energy, it specifically harbors itself here. So, go at your own discretion. Go at night. I double dare you. Try it out. And let's see how far you get back here before you start running out like I have. But Camp Ford definitely, absolutely holds its merit as being the most haunted camp in all of Texas. So next year I'm gonna go back. I'm gonna definitely go visit it again. And this time I'm gonna put my stopwatch. I'm gonna stay there at least an hour. I'm gonna try to stay as long as I can to see what I can do. So, or see what evidence I can get. But that's pretty much it. What do y'all guys think? Those are the four spots that I went to. I went first to the Select Theater, and that's where I saw that great movie, the documentary. And then I went to the Memorial Cemetery, the Mineola one, or the Cedars one as it's called. Then I went to the Wisner Airport Museum, which was a really neat bonus. And then finally, I went to my beloved Camp Ford. But that's it. This was fun. Just wanted to show y'all this spot or the set of spots. And I might do some more of these in the future when I go to Comic Cons and so on. If I visit around, then I might do some live streams showcasing them on Google Maps. But let me know what y'all guys think. All right, everyone. Hope you have a good Sunday, Monday. Hope you have a great day. Take care, man.